Tigers, Bulldogs, Saints. Welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. Tom, Cardboard Kelly, Casey, and Cardboard Coach joining you from Smithville First Baptist Church. Man, we got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about today. Casey, I'm fired up. Right away, this is breaking news, by the way, this morning. I don't have the breaking news sounder handy, but DeKalb County High School Volleyball has won their second match of the season and overall for the program. They beat, I believe it was Summit Christian of Alabama this morning. Coach Kayla Johnson gave me a call right around, I guess it was 7:30 this morning, and was excited to pass that news along. Wanted me to share that with our viewers out there. So volleyball gets their second win, and I think more to come. It's a Rocky Top Classic, and today's all about Rocky Top too, by the way.
Absolutely, yeah. What time did they play this morning? 5:30?
They're on Eastern time, so while we were getting out of bed, they were starting to play volleyball, I think.
Hey, these kids are a lot more dedicated than I am, I tell you.
Casey, of course, big news that we have this morning, DeKalb County High School Tiger football. Homecoming last night. Friendship Christian comes to Smithville. And Friendship Christian is ranked number 2 in the state in Division II Class A. They're a perennial power in Division II. That this is a team that won state just a couple of years ago. They came in undefeated, ranked, and our DeKalb County Tigers. It went down to the wire, Casey, but what a huge win! 21-17 last night over this Friendship Christian team, and we're going to show the clip in a bit and talk to Coach Steve Trapp about it, but it came down to basically close to the last minute of the ball game and a huge touchdown pass. John Hendricks to Jesse Fouch. Casey, I know you were there right on top of it. Just kind of walk us through what led up to that and that big play there for the DeKalb County Tigers.
Well, actually, I'd like to hear what Kelly says about it first.
She's a little stoic this morning.
She is sounding great this morning, I'll tell you. Full of insight as usual.
As usual, yes. Her football, fandom speaks for itself.
Yeah. It was a great game. It was probably the most exciting game that we've seen at DeKalb County in a long time. At Dr. John L. Van Hoosier Stadium, at least. So, it was really funny. Everybody knows about Friendship Christian. Everybody knows about their rankings. Everybody knows about their tradition and all of that, and deservingly so. That program has been traditionally very good over the past few years. And then you see poor little DeKalb County come in at 1-2, and you start to think the worst that may happen. But I will say this: that team showed me something last night. Mm-hmm. You can't count that team out. I really believe that this may be the team that we've been waiting to see all season.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest thing about it was the upperclassmen.
Yeah.
Upperclassmen took this game over this last night. We've talked some about the freshmen that's come in, but this was not about the freshmen last night. It was about the upperclassmen who stood up and said, "You will not beat us on our home field on homecoming." And so the game starts off, and Friendship has a stable of running backs, including their quarterback, that Walcott kid that I believe he may still be running somewhere right now. They came in and ran the ball, were mixing in a few timely passes that kind of kept us off, from just pinning back and going after the run every time. And they were able to go down the field multiple times, but could never seem to finish the drive. Our defense would bow up, and they would stop them, deep in our territory, and then one play happens. You know, Cecil has a 50-yard run, and then it's on. Ryan Lyons has that huge catch, to get us going, and lo and behold, it's 7-0 going into the deep into the second quarter. They do come back and score before halftime and tie it up at 7, but we go into the half at 7, and I think if you are anybody in that stands last night, you were thrilled with that. That was a best possible scenario almost that you could have. And so the second half comes along. You could tell the team had made some adjustments during halftime because we sort of started stagnating a little bit on our drives late in the first half. We made some adjustments, and John Travis, my goodness, give that kid all the credit. Second game starting this season, or second game played this season, and to come in and to be able to do the job that he did. Was it perfect? No, it was not, but it was very good.
Yeah.
Friendship scores again on us. It goes up 14-7, and I'm sitting there, in the booth thinking, okay, well, if nothing else, this is going to be. You never want to hear this, but this is a moral victory, because of how good that we've played, and not to be denied. We come down, we score again, we tie it up, and Friendship was able to get a field goal there in the late into the game to go up 17-14, and then we start driving again, and I think we started at our 29 and we drove all the way down. Deep into their territory. We get it down to fourth down. God bless him. Coach Trapp has guts. Nobody can deny that.
Yep.
He calls a play, and John's able to find Jesse Fouts. Good for him in the corner for the go-ahead touchdown. And then the most amazing thing to me the whole game is we get an interception that wasn't negated by a penalty. I was looking, Ryan caught it, and I was like, well, there's a flag. I didn't even call it because I was certain there was a flag out there somewhere. So not to be this time, Ryan was able to close the game out, and pandemonium ensues then. It was what a really good game.
What a great win for DeKalb County. Coach Trapp was actually telling us before we went on the air, this is the first home win since they beat Watertown homecoming last year. I had not realized that, but it's 7 consecutive homecoming wins. You know what? That says a lot for the coaching staff on its own, because coaches usually just don't like all the distraction of homecoming as it is. You've got all this other stuff going on, and you're trying to coach to win a football game. You got a great team like Friendship coming in. I think this really, raises the bar and speaks additional volumes how they were able to keep these kids locked in, and they went out there and played a tremendous football game.
Yes, they did. One of the things that I took from that, outside of how well the upperclassmen contributed this time, is Jesse Fouts. Good for that kid.
Oh, yeah.
He's – he gets replaced at quarterback, and instead of sulling up and, not wanting to contribute, he finds another place to go. And now he is on tape, okay? So now all the other teams that we play can't do like Friendship was doing, putting a man on Ryan at the line of scrimmage and then one over the top just to trail him the whole time. They can't do that anymore.
Right.
They have got to account for Jesse now. And so good for him. That was one of the highlights of the game, obviously for everybody, but just to see it go to Jesse, what a great moment.
I listened to quite a bit on the radio last night, and I heard his name on defense a lot last night as well. I mean, he's taken all this in stride, and he stepped up and made some big plays defensively last night as well.
He sure did. We called Jesse's name a lot. Called Hunter Buchanan. That's another kid that I don't understand why we don't talk about him more. He is in almost every play out there on defense. Tucker Webb had the game of his life so far this year too. He made numerous tackles. And then, how about Eli Jones? Going up against that big 5-star, 4-star, 12-star, whatever he is for Friendship. And, the kid is big, and truly good for him, man. He is a definite D1 prospect probably, but Eli, I thought he held his own very well with him last night and won a lot of those battles.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really key. The offensive line has really impressed me this year because, you could look at them on paper and you would think, I don't know. I don't know how they'll do. But they have held up very well. Now, has there been a lot of sacks given up this year? Yes. Is it on the offensive line? Not so much, really. Mm-hmm. We still have a problem with holding the ball some too long. We'll get through that. That's just a learning thing. You've unfortunately got to learn it during the season now, but that's been our big bugaboo is just holding the ball too long. And you can't fault an offensive line for not holding a block for 15 seconds out there. At some point, you're going to get beat out there. And so I do think, John Travis, he struggled with that last night. He took some sacks. He took some intentional grounding penalties that he probably shouldn't have. But what I did notice is that towards the end of the game, he was able to overcome that. He got away from some of the pressure, and even one of the balls that he threw away, I was really, really proud of because he was consistently throwing short of the line of scrimmage, and he finally, figured out I gotta pass down the field some. So you could see him grow up a little bit out there last night, which was really cool to watch. Cecil Ketchum, another kid that just had a really great game last night. He balanced us out on offense. Mm-hmm. They couldn't just tee off on Ryan and just expect pass every time. Cecil had an effective running game last night, and he got us yards when we needed, and tough yards too. That was really key for me, I thought too. He battled even in the short yardage, and throw out the big runs that he had, but he battled even when we needed 4 or 5 yards. He was there. John Travis ran the ball well last night. That is so key to our offense, is that quarterback's ability to be able to run the ball too.
Yep.
Because you can't just plan to stop the running backs. You've got to prepare for the quarterback to take the ball down the field too, which has been a trademark of our offense for a while. But John Travis, I was really proud for all of them, all of the seniors, all of the upperclassmen last night. I give them all the credit for that win last night.
Huge win, 21-17 over Friendship Christian. 2 touchdown passes from John Hendricks. We mentioned the one to Jesse Fouch there at the end that ended up being the game winner. Had one to Ryan Lyons earlier in the game. Cecil Ketchum, a touchdown run last night. DeKalb County evens their record at 2-2, and great timing as now region play opens for the Tigers coming up next week, and you get back-to-back teams that are probably predicted to be at the top of the region, Macon County and Upperman over the next 2 weeks, and I think this is a big shot in the arm. Confidence-wise, definitely for this DeKalb County team going into region play.
Well, it's always fun to travel to Afghanistan to play Macon County.
Your favorite place in the world.
Yeah. There's lots of things you could say about that. But I'll tell you this. It's going to be a different team traveling up there this week than what we thought we would have seen from last week. To me, this win, more than anything, proves that last week was probably a fluke.
Right.
Everything had to just go wrong. A perfect set of circumstances had to happen last week for that result to happen out there. And give Coach Trapp all the credit. I don't know. I think maybe the bank needs to hire him as a motivational speaker or something. I don't know what he said. If he threatened somebody, I hope there's no guns involved anywhere or knives, but whatever it was, it worked very well.
We're going to get Coach Trapp's take on last night's game, and in addition to that, we're going to spend a couple of segments talking about something very special that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. We have been working with Coach Trapp on naming his all-20-year team. It's hard to believe it, but Coach Steve Trapp has been with the DeKalb County High School football program as their head coach now for 20-plus seasons. He's got 3 members of that team that's going to be joining us this morning as we're going to recap 20 years of DeKalb County High School Tiger football. And on Friday night, September 26th, prior to the Upperman game, we're going to hold a ceremony, and we're going to announce all the team members of Coach Steve Trapp's all-20-year team. So be marking your calendars and be there for that special night, Casey. That's going to be a lot of fun, seeing some familiar faces come back to the program. But We got a lot to talk about here in these next couple of segments. A lot of years to catch up on.
20 years is a long time. Coach Trapp must be pretty old. I'm glad I'm not that old.
You can tell him that, Casey.
Yeah.
You just tell him that. We'll come back with our first segment with Coach Trapp and 3 members of his all-20-year team. This is DC Blitz. We're presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change a car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Prompt, professional, and courteous healthcare services. That's what you find when you visit Good Health Family Clinic, 414 East Broad Street in Smithville. When you're on the go, you can't afford to be sick. The staff at Good Health Family Clinic is committed to getting you back on your feet and feeling better as soon as possible. They are locally owned, so you know you're being helped by people from right here at home, who you know and trust. Good Health Family Clinic accepts most insurances and is currently accepting new patients. Call to schedule an appointment, 615-597-4432. Good Health Family Clinic. Your family's good health is our mission.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb Sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Home Services is your trusted partner for comprehensive excavation and septic solutions. With a combined 30 years of experience, our team of skilled professionals deliver reliable, high-quality work for both residential and commercial projects. We understand the unique challenges of Middle Tennessee's terrain and provide customized services. From basic excavation to complex septic system installations, we have the expertise and equipment to handle jobs of any size or complexity. Put us to work for you. Home Services, 615-597-6287.
In the heart of Smithville, by the tranquil waters of Center Hill Lake, one name stands out in real estate: Lake Homes Realty and the Tony Luna Group. With over 25 years of experience and a track record of over $100 million in local sales, Tony Luna is the expert you can trust. Whether you're selling your cherished home or seeking that perfect lakeside retreat, Tony's commitment ensures you'll get top dollar for your property. Call 615-210-9522 and take the first step towards your real estate success.
Liberty Auto Glass and Calibrations has served the Upper Cumberland area as a premier auto glass shop since 2011. Located at 1620 South Jefferson Avenue in Cookeville, our business offers chipped glass repair, glass replacement, windshield repair, and much more. Plus, on-site service is available. We also offer free mobile installation. We look forward to assisting our customers with any and all windshield repairs. For all your auto glass needs, stop by Liberty Auto Glass and Calibrations. Phone 931-979-7339.
Just like the excitement of the big game, life is filled with unforgettable moments. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that when the final moment comes, you want to honor those moments with dignity and care. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding solace in a time of grief, our compassionate staff is here to provide the support you need. Love Cantrell Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of DeKalb County Athletics through 3 generations. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Just like a winning team, Liberty State Bank is there when you need them most, providing financial solutions that fit your goals. Whether it's building a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, you can count on us to be there every step of the way. Experience the power of partnership with Liberty State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Tigers, Saints, and Bulldogs.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Smithville Church of Christ invites you to come worship with us. Smithville Church of Christ believes that God is a relational being who exists as Father, Son, and Spirit. That human beings have a created likeness to God which makes each of us eternally valuable. That salvation is the free gift of God, received through faith and expressed through confession, repentance, and baptism. That personal transformation, a process initiated by God's grace, gathers momentum as our will is increasingly brought into alignment with God's will. Come visit Smithville Church of Christ any Sunday or Wednesday night, as we study together and worship our Lord.
Bad Boy Mowers' legendary reputation for strength, performance, and value is now available with Bad Boy tractors. From mid-size to subcompact models powered by 22 to 35 horsepower water-cooled diesel engines, your tractor work just got real easy. On the farm, the ranch, or even around the house, Bad Boy tractors deliver power and durability all day, every day. Bad Boy tractors work with an attitude. Find your big boy tractor at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. What a Saturday morning. We've got a jam-packed show today. We are happy to be joined by DeKalb County High School head football coach Steve Trapp on this segment. And I know I always like talking to you the day after a win, Coach.
It's definitely a lot better conversation, Tom. Yeah. I agree with that.
I've talked to you after losses and wins both, and I know we both always feel better when it's after a win, but heck of a ball game for your kids last night. Again, through all the distractions of homecoming, playing an always good Friendship Christian team. If you could sum it up in a word, Coach, what would that word be?
Just, grit, and that involves a lot of love and passion and, just self-reflection and gut check. Because the last couple of weeks it's been heavy.
Sure.
Just the way that we've been performing, and it takes every single person out there in that building, starting with me all the way down, just to keep the faith and keep going, and just do what's expected. There's a process of work that's there, and when it's done right, it gives you an opportunity to go be what you can be.
We know a lineup change with John Hendricks starting at quarterback last night, but overall in practice this week, have there been some emphasis on certain areas that you've seen deficiencies in maybe in the first couple of weeks?
That's the case each and every week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even if we had won every game, that's something that you still do. Our Mondays, we call them Fundy Monday, not because it's fun.
Yeah.
Because we pinpoint and focus on those things that we really need to clean up. And it's not like that we've not ever worked on them.
Sure.
But just put a little extra emphasis on it. It could be, focusing on inside run game or perimeter blocking, or just things that we simply need to do better. Some different sets that we might be putting in. We'll make sure that the footwork and all that stuff's down. And but I've never lost any sleep over the way this team has practiced. I've lost sleep over how we've performed on Friday nights, and so it's a hard thing to grasp. But they are teenagers. Different day, different results. I'm a 47-year-old moody man, so different day, different results. But we're all out there striving to get that feeling that we felt last night.
See, Casey, he's not that old. He's only 47.
Yeah. How about that? I guess that ain't that old, is it?
Yeah. Coach, going into the game last night, though, and again, week after week, you probably don't know what you're going to get. Do you get a pretty good sense going in when you're in the locker room prior to the game where the team is mentally in terms of focus and preparation?
And there's been teams where you just knew. I'll be honest, this one's got me perplexed a little bit sometimes, because like I said, it's not they've worked hard. Mm-hmm. They've played hard, but it takes more than that. Mm-hmm. Just the mindset of just, there's different ways to go about it. I've been that fiery coach. I've been that evil coach. I've got people mad at me, and I'll never apologize for being passionate about trying to get these guys to be successful. And one of the biggest things, just after the game, and just and I told them, I said, the feeling that they have right now, I wish I could bottle it up and just give it to them every day.
Right.
But the thing is, I didn't give that to them. They give it to themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's the special ingredient that makes teams special, is when they understand what they can do for each other.
Yeah.
And, I've explained it to them this way many times over the years. I'm giving you the keys to the car. What kind of car do you want to drive?
Sure.
So there's a lot of choices and decisions that we're putting on teenagers. We try to empower them in that way, because really as a high school coach, yeah, we want to win everything, but also want to be successful. And when they're done, and if there's anything that this football program can give them to help them with that, I think ultimately we'll be successful. But just super proud of them last night. 50-50 going into it, Tom. I really know. I talked with the Friendships coach before the game. I said, Coach, we could come out here and kick your tail, or we could come out here and lay an egg.
Yeah.
He said, well, Coach, don't do it tonight. I said, well, I mean, but I'm super proud of how they responded. You know, what we talked about pregame, just about what winners do. There were 6 points that I pulled out, and in the middle of those games, it's like different scenarios. Like, hey, you remember point 4 that I talked about? We're in the middle of it right now. You know, when you have adversity, what do winners do? You know, they persevere. They rely on their training, and they lead. They learn from their mistakes. And that scenario we had last night, you know, we had the same one at White House. You know, kickoff, get a good kickoff stop. Brody Bloylock last night went in there and made a great play on that last one. We get an interception to seal it at White House, but it gets called back. You know, like Casey said, we finally got one that counted. You know, it's happened multiple times. So we'll be able to use the situation that we was in a couple of weeks ago, almost identical that we were in last night, and show them, hey, this is how it's different and the reasons why. You know, our heart and our mind was better.
Do we have the clip ready? I want to go back. We're gonna watch the last touchdown now. Before we get to there, leading up to this, we're in the last minute. Friendships kicked the field goal and taking the lead here, Coach, and kind of walk us through what's going on after this happens and what you're talking to the team about.
Well, I mean, we're probably getting in a 2-minute situation there. I think we was on our own 30, 29, something like that. You know, so we've got, 70 yards to go with not a whole lot of time. And, we needed some chunk plays. And, they're taking away our playmaker out there. But we were saying at halftime, okay, that's fine. That's opening up something else.
Yeah.
So there's a few moments in that game where, I could have got John and twisted his ears off. I'm like, dude, don't force nothing. There's a couple times he was trying to force it over there. And I said, there's going to be somebody else. Jesse or somebody else is going to make a play for us. We've got to trust it, and we get there. I know we had a couple big runs. John had a huge run that got us down in there, and then we just executed, and then a couple little negative plays. But, it was 4th and 7, and, I call a timeout. And we've had moments this year, and I think even last night, we come off a timeout where we have explained everything. And we get out there, and it looks like they've never been coached before, So Watertown, we had a 4th and 2, and it's like, okay, we're doing this, you're doing this, we're coming in, and then it was like, and that's the frustrating part, So we're coming off a timeout and, explaining everything, and that original play, we had some motion, and me and Steven were talking. I was like, we need to get some motion because they're in man-to-man, maybe break something free, and we've got this little red zone package, and it felt good about that one, but then they call a timeout. I'm like, okay. And I learned a few years ago, I'm just like, man, change the play.
Right.
Early on as a coach, they'd call a timeout. I'd come back out in the same day. Well, they're calling a timeout to scheme up the look you're in.
Sure.
So I'm like, oh, guys, we're going to change the play. And it's a play that we had not run with Jesse all week. I'd run it to Ryan if the situation was a little different. But, again, we had that timeout, and I'm just like, all right, Jesse, all you got, just get inside the corner and get your tail in the corner of that end zone.
Let's take a look at that play. We're going to pull it up here and let you watch it at home in case you didn't get to see it last night. Walk us through here, Coach.
Well, we're trying to break contain, just, help our linemen out a little bit. We got 2 guys pulling. I told John, I said, look, it's one-on-one. There's nothing behind it. If you don't get Jesse, you're going to have Reed coming across underneath to hopefully dump it off and get the first down.
Right.
You'll see Reed.
See Reed there.
Reed's right there. He got jumped, but and in that position, you can see Jesse, if he is behind the corner, he's open.
Right.
And when we're in that red zone like this, we tell them there's a spot in the corner of that end zone, and it's usually 2 yards inside, 2 yards inside. So you've got that box. He throws it right in the box. Jesse makes a heck of a diving catch right there, and pandemonium ensues.
Man, that was
big.
That's a beautiful throw and catch because it's got to be in that spot. Right there, John throws a pretty ball, and then just the catch itself. That's a beautiful play.
Yeah, glad it worked out.
Yeah.
They executed that as much execution that we have missed in critical moments, these first few weeks, and that was a good feeling, and proud of them.
21-17, DeKalb County wins over Friendship Christian to even the record at 2-2 on the season. Now you go into region play, and to win last night, to win the way you did, to get some momentum. How much does it help your team as you go in? Because you got Macon and Upperman back to back.
Oh, it helps a ton. Like I said, the weight's been heavy, personally, on the team as well. And it's just because, we've got high expectations. But in order to achieve those high expectations, you got to be willing to do what it takes to get what you want. We want to win everything.
Sure.
So another one of those little bullet points that we talked about pregame was the little things, and the way Tiger Pride's defined is doing the 1,000 little things better than your opponent. Those 1,000 little things that we talk about are the most boring, mundane, redundant things that you have to do every single week, every single day, and purposeful in order for you to be in a situation to where you can be successful. And again, it's not human nature to do that, So give those guys a lot of credit. I want to sit here and think that they adhered to the words that they heard. It wasn't fire and brimstone. It's just like, guys, this is just another way of explaining to you everything we've already explained.
Yeah.
Take it to heart. And like I said a few moments ago, in the moments of the game, throughout the entire game, it was good for me as well. I'm like, hey, y'all remember point 3 we talked about? Here we are. Let's go live it. Let's go. Here it is. So for them to hear that, but then be able to apply it, and then also to get the results from it, that's just good stuff.
I really think that this win is going to really help us the rest of the year, because you think about this. Let's just lay it out on the table. On paper, we should not have won that game. Going into that game last night, if you just looked at the paperness of it, we shouldn't have won that game.
That's why I don't look at the paper.
So check this out. But here's what I'm getting at.
I know.
That team last night didn't listen to that mess. And so now you've got the powerhouses coming in, that's coming up, Upperman and Macon County. But I believe that win over that team last night, let's not forget, they were ranked number 2 in Division II, if I'm not mistaken.
2 single A, yep.
So that win last night proves that team don't care about that mess. And so they're going to take every game. They expect to win every game. That was one of the biggest things, biggest blessings of that game, I think.
My Thursday talk to them after practice was, along those lines, which y'all have talked to me for a lot of years. And, ultimately I want their motivation to be, the opportunity they got to go impact people playing this sport. And I think that should be the top level of motivation, and that's how I approach everything. So personally, I don't buy into all that other stuff. Now, if they garner extra motivation because it's a certain opponent or homecoming or something, okay, but I don't want to take that away. I just want them to be here with their motivation level for the opportunity. But we also talk about, are you disciplined or are you motivated? Because motivation is fleeting.
Yeah.
If you're tired, you're hungry, you're sick, you're sleepy, how motivated are you to go do those things?
Yeah.
But if you're disciplined, you're going to do it regardless, if you're in the right frame of mind. So that's as the head coach, that's how I try to approach everything. So it's more of a business approach. Sometimes I kick myself. I'm like, well, I'm not like I was when I coached junior pro when I was all rah-rah. But, I was last night when we hit that play. But, so it's more about, just – intense focus was a big, huge theme last night. I said that, in between every snap, I think I was like, it wasn't just about focus, but it was about intense focus. So are you intentionally focusing on the things that you need to do to take care of what you have to do?
Right.
But you're right. I hope the last thing I told him last night is, about that feeling. I said, sometimes, how can you know success if you don't know failure? And sometimes failure can make you lock in and go.
Yeah.
And then sometimes success can make you lazy or complacent. So enjoy it, but make sure that we come back hungry. So again, everybody needs to be a faceless opponent. Do your job, prepare, and be motivated simply to go out there and to do the best you can to impact each other and the people around us.
All right, when we come back, we've got 3 members of Coach Steve Trapp's all-20-year team. As we mentioned earlier, coming up on Friday night, September 26th, prior to the game against Upperman, we're going to be recognizing those members of the all-20-year team. Coach, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. You and I have been kind of working on this. You've done most of the work, picking all these players. But
as in all the work.
But we're really excited to talk to these guys and reflect on 20 years of DeKalb County football under head coach Steve Trapp. Stick around. This is DC Blitz. We're presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
At DeKalb County Insurance, we proudly support our local sports teams, always rooting for the Saints, Bulldogs, Tigers, and Vols. And off the field, we're here for our community too, helping you understand your Medicare options with care and clarity. We're not affiliated with Medicare, but we're here to help you make informed decisions by finding the best plan that fits your healthcare needs. Open enrollment for 2025 runs from October 15th to December 7th. Give us a call to set up your Medicare evaluation at 615-597-0660, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please note, we do not offer every plan available in your area. Any information we provide is limited to plans we do offer. Go to Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE to get information on all of your options.
Prompt, professional, and courteous healthcare services. That's what you find when you visit Good Health Family Clinic, 414 East Broad Street in Smithville. When you're on the go, you can't afford to be sick. The staff at Good Health Family Clinic is committed to getting you back on your feet and feeling better as soon as possible. They are locally owned, so you know you're being helped by people from right here at home, who you know and trust. Good Health Family Clinic accepts most insurances and is currently accepting new patients. Call to schedule an appointment, 615-597-4432. Good Health Family Clinic. Your family's good health is our mission.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb Sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Ignite HVAC Electrical and Plumbing is one of the top HVAC contractors in Middle Tennessee, offering both residential and commercial sales, installation, and services. We want to set ourselves apart from the rest of the HVAC industry by providing a seamless experience from your project start to finish. We are constantly improving our skills to continue to meet every expectation for our customers. Let Ignite serve your HVAC electrical and plumbing needs. 615-597-0100.
In the heart of Smithville, by the tranquil waters of Center Hill Lake, one name stands out in real estate: Lake Homes Realty and the Tony Luna Group. With over 25 years of experience and a track record of over $100 million in local sales, Tony Luna is the expert you can trust. Whether you're selling your cherished home or seeking that perfect lakeside retreat, Tony's commitment ensures you'll get top dollar for your property. Call 615-210-9522 and take the first step towards your real estate success.
Liberty Auto Glass and Calibrations has served the Upper Cumberland area as a premier auto glass shop since 2011. Located at 1620 South Jefferson Avenue in Cookville, our business offers chipped glass repair, glass replacement, windshield repair, and much more. Plus, on-site service is available. We also offer free mobile installation. We look forward to assisting our customers with any and all windshield repairs. For all your auto glass needs, stop by Liberty Auto Glass and Calibrations. Phone 931-979-7339.
At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that this life is a journey filled with highs and lows. Just as every game has its final whistle, so too does every life have its final moment. When that time comes, Love Cantrell Funeral Home would love the opportunity to earn your trust. We provide compassionate care and professional services to fit your family's financial needs. Love Cantrell Funeral Home has been a proud sponsor of all DeKalb County athletics for over 65 years. Love Cantrell Funeral Home, where love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Just like a winning team, Liberty State Bank is there when you need them most, providing financial solutions that fit your goals. Whether it's building a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, you can count on us to be there every step of the way. Experience the power of partnership with Liberty State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Tigers, Saints, and Bulldogs.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, proud supporters of all DeKalb County athletics.
Smithville Church of Christ invites you to come worship with us. Smithville Church of Christ believes that God is a relational being who exists as Father, Son, and Spirit. That human beings have a created likeness to God which makes each of us eternally valuable. That salvation is the free gift of God, received through faith and expressed through confession, repentance, and baptism. That personal transformation, a process initiated by God's grace, gathers momentum as our will is increasingly brought into alignment with God's will. Come visit Smithville Church of Christ any Sunday or Wednesday night, as we study together and worship our Lord.
For 20 years, Southern Landscape Supply has been serving DeKalb County and the Upper Cumberland with everything you need to keep your lawn looking its best. From grass seed and fertilizer to top quality mowers and tractors, we've got you covered. And when it comes time for maintenance, our full parts and service department is here to keep your equipment running strong. Whether you're tackling the backyard or the back 40, trust your hometown experts at Southern Landscape Supply. Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookeville.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. We have so much fun doing this show. I mean, we talk about whatever. Casey, I know, has been dying to do outtakes. We got a good one now. We got a couple of good sound bites from you this morning, matter of fact. So.
Honestly, I think we could do a whole show of just me telling stuff.
No doubt about that at all. No doubt about that. We're very excited about something that Coach Trapp and DC Blitz have been working on together now for a while. An idea we brought up after last season was over, it being Coach Trapp's 20th year. And I've had the opportunity to cover all of the years that you've been coaching. And I thought, man, when you look back at all the success the program's had, the great players, we needed an all-20-year team, and Coach Trapp was great to jump on board and do this. We're not going to announce all of the nominees until the night of the event, but today we've got three of the nominees here. And, Coach, first off, I want to go back. 20 years, 2005, you were coaching junior pro. Just literally a couple of weeks before the football season gets underway. Head coach resigns. It's an opening. You apply. You get the job. Take us back 20 years, and what's going through your mind at this point? Do you know what you're getting yourself into? I mean, you had to have been excited, but, just kind of reminisce there.
I've told this story to you many times, but I mean, and multiple times, but, the way it started, people probably wouldn't say that it was a blessing, but the way it happened, it was a blessing. I played college baseball and come home one week. This is going back, my Uncle Clarence. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I mean, just so I come home one weekend. He's like, hey, you want to go to a football game with me? I didn't know he was coaching junior pro. He never had any sons or anything.
Yeah.
He said, I'll give you a shirt. You can be the water boy. You get in for free. So I've said this many times. Deal, yeah. College kid. I didn't have I shouldn't pay my way into a junior pro game. Yeah. But they're playing in a championship game up at Livingston. And, I tell everybody, so all this started, with me being a water boy.
Yeah.
For 10-year-olds. And, but, I'm holding water bottles. They call a timeout. I'm in the huddle. I'm like, just in, I played every sport growing up, but they're just, played college baseball, junior college, but still the feeling that I always got from playing football was just different. And I wasn't the biggest guy in the world and all that, but it was just different. But being able to be the water boy that day, so the next year when I was done, he's like, hey, you want to come help? Like, well, heck yeah. So I coached junior pro for 6 years. The first 3 I was an assistant. The second 3 I was the head coach, and I'm 20 years old, 21, 22, and all that stuff. And, but in the middle of that, I figured out, hey, this is what I want to do. I played softball on the weekends with Coach Webb and the AGs, and they were already teaching and coaching. I'm like, man, I can do this too. So they had an influence on me as well. So I was working at Dell Computer at the time, sort of when it first opened. I'm like, well, I can go be a supervisor or something. I've got a degree, but I got put on the production line day one, and, I did that for almost 2 years, still doing the same thing on day whatever that I was doing on day one. And, my family had always built houses and all that. I wasn't married to my wife at the time, but I told her, I said, I want to buy a lot. I want to build a house. I want to sell it. I want to quit Dell, and I want to go back to school, and I want to be the head coach of the high school football team. She's like, that's great. She says, I fell in love with you watching you coach 10-year-olds. So that was great. I told Clarence that. He's like, dude, go, do it. The week I got married was the week I quit Dale.
Wow.
You know, so how many people has a wife that allows their future husband to quit his job that day? But I had built and sold a couple houses, so that allowed me to do that. It all worked out. And that lot that I was talking about building and selling, I bought a lot one day. We had a softball meeting at night at Kevin Rigsby's house. We all played together. They were renting a house. He was like, yeah, we're fixing to buy this house. I'm like, well, I just bought a lot today. I drew on a piece of paper what I was going to build. He said, I'll buy it.
Wow.
The day I bought the lot, so blessed.
Yeah.
Blessed. And, so quit, went back to MTSU while I was at Middle, built a few more houses, and all that stuff. But then you said I applied for the head coaching job. I never did. I applied to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I even told him, I said, hey, I don't care if I'm a janitor, just get me in.
Sure.
I'll help with football. And, the head coach at the time had actually talked to me. He's like, hey, I heard you're, a good guy. I want to coach. I want you to help me coach. And if I can do anything to help you out, I said, well, I'd appreciate that. And I said, just be careful how you do it.
Yeah.
The rest is history. But anyway, and I remember I was playing golf, and my aunt worked at the central office. She said, hey, you need to come up here. They're going to hire you to teach math. Didn't say nothing about football.
Right.
I didn't go to school to teach math. I said, okay. So went up there, did what I needed to do. Jim McCormick was the director at the time. They said, well, Jim wants to talk to you and congratulate you. I went in there and sat down, shook my hand. He said, well, what about head football coach? I said, well, have you found one? I said, I'll help. I'll help whoever you got. He says, no, I hope I'm looking at him. And I kindly sit back in my seat for about 10 seconds. I said, if you're willing to give it to somebody that only has 6 years of coaching 10-year-olds but has a passion and wants to do this, I said, do it. I said, it'll probably start ugly. But there's 2 things that I'll promise you, that we will work and I will coach here or I'll coach nowhere.
Yeah.
For a long time. And he said, well, congratulations, you're the coach.
Wow.
I said, well, who's my assistants? He said, you ain't got none. Go find them. So there you go. That's how it all started. And again, that was, 2.5, maybe 3 weeks before the first game of the year.
It was right before, yeah.
We had a scrimmage set up with Smith County and Jimmy Maynard 2 days after I got hired. These kids had not done nothing.
Yeah.
And they had been running wing T. I don't know wing T. I'm a junior pro coach. I know how to run pro I. You know what I mean? I knew nothing.
Yeah.
I knew how to work hard. And I knew that's what I wanted to do, and I would do what it takes to get there. But I called Jimmy like, dude, we can't scrimmage. We had another one the next week versus Jackson County, and they beat our brains in. It was just it was awful. So I think about that group that had those first couple of years. First year, we didn't have a shot.
Yeah.
I wasn't smart enough as a coach. I made those guys do things that I don't think the military does. You know what I'm saying? But I promised them we would work, and I was so young and egotistical at that time that I'll outwork everybody. Everybody works.
Yeah.
Everybody. So you got to work. So there's been a huge learning curve and process to all of this, and it's still ongoing. Because if that curve ever stops, then I don't deserve to be here. But that's how it all started, and and it's been a ride and it's been a journey.
When I talk to people about your tenure, I get a lot of people that'll ask me about you and the quarterback whisperer, how did it all start and stuff like this. One thing I always point out, those first 3 years, you didn't win a game the first year, won the second year, 2 the third year, 3-27 after 3 years. At any point, did you ever get discouraged and think, man, I don't know if I can do this?
Yes. After 2007, and I've told this story to a lot of people, but after 2007, going into 2008, I was on my knees under that arch.
Yeah.
And I was just asking, is this what I'm supposed to do? And wasn't doubting, but just, I know I had to do my part.
Right.
It's not like, hey, you got to make this happen for me. I knew I had to do my part. And my part in those first 3 years, it was more about me than it was anything. I can remember standing in front of the team being like, well, I want to be district coach of the year. I want to do this. I want to do this. And then it physically felt like God literally slapped me in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it was like, hey, it's not about you.
Sure.
But I was on my knees under that arch, and it was just, I said, I got you, because anything that's ever been garnered to me has been because of these guys. And again, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect, but that flipped it, as far as my perspective and the outlook on what it needed to be. But then there's been a lot of really good football players too.
To follow up where I was going with that as well, and I talk about the 3-27, I talk about your work ethic, and it was noticed from the first time I ever talked to you. Once you were named head coach, I knew how driven you were. And maybe as you recap, it wasn't, for the right purpose to start with, and God intervened. But, the success that came in 2008, I mean, you worked hard. And along that time, Coach, Tiger Pride. And we won't talk about that because that's become the mantra of this program during your tenure. The turning point for you, having the talk, God having to reach down and say, hey, this is not the way it goes. What happens there?
Well, again, it puts the focus on where it needs, and it's about, if we did talk about Tiger Pride, I would define it in people.
Sure.
It's about people, and
Right.
it's about serving people. We tell our guys all the time, make sure you have a servant towel. It's big and it's dirty. That's the special ingredient in all of this. I mean, every team runs the same plays, might have different formations, but the special ingredient is, okay, how do you bond together and what are you willing to do for each other?
Yeah.
Again, we're human beings and we're not perfect, but I mean, that's the special part of all this. But again, another thing, again, having a system in place, 5, 6, and 7, I was still a junior pro coach. I would just call a play to be calling it.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if this works. And here's the thing, boy, if it got 6 yards, guess what I'm doing? I'm calling that thing again.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, and then we practiced like junior pro. We still circled up and wasted time and all that. So, I mean, just learning, having a desire to be better for the people around me, to serve those guys better, the coaches that we did have. And, and that's been a whole nother challenge, especially early on. And, but then, so going into 2000, I ain't gonna lie, I spent $400 and bought 12 DVDs.
Yeah.
About offense.
Really?
Yes. And we started running that.
Yeah.
Now, that's the basis of everything that we still do, but it has grown and multiplied and things like that. But we had a system.
Yeah.
Instead of just, hey, let's pick a play and see if it works. Let's pick a play if we had it works. We had a system, and we had guys like Abram and Hunter in 2008 that they bought into it, they understood it, and they made it work, and they made it happen. And, so it's, I'll never sit here and say that I'm the gift to DeKalb County football, because there's, but it has been a yearning to learn and be better for the people that I serve.
A member of the 2008 team, graduated in 2009, Abram Edwards, a member of the all-20-year team. Abram, you were part of that turnaround there in 2008. What was the biggest change that you saw from, say, 2006, 2007 to that 2008 year?
Wow, that's a great question. I think what Coach Trapp just said is a huge part of it. Having a system, having a vision for what we're going to do, a game plan was a huge part of it. I remember me and Hunter, when Coach bought those DVDs, I remember that. I remember when he was talking about it. He brought me and Hunter, well, Hunter mainly because he's a quarterback, brought him in on the dry erase board, was talking about the plays, and then I was kind of, second to that. We were there when that offense was instituted, and of course it's awesome that we run that at middle school now. When coaching middle school, obviously high school does a lot different now, a few more wrinkles and a few more things, but the foundation is still there. That's what we teach in the middle school program. But the biggest difference, I think, what Coach Trapp just said, I mean, having a vision, having realistic expectations. Like I remember those first few years, we'd have the sleepover night where we'd come over and we'd have, we'd stay the night together, and then we'd practice all that next Saturday. Boy, those were some times.
Those were terrible, Abram. Admit it. They're a lot better now. Those first couple
they
were
don't
terrible.
Understand.
No, they don't. A 14-hour practice is not a smart thing to do.
Oh man!
Well, I wasn't going to admit to that. I didn't want to get you in trouble.
No, we've come a long way.
But like I remember we'd sit around the fire at night, the bonfire, and we would each and every player would get up and say, "This is my team goal." And this is my individual goal for this year. And I remember those first few years, like, man, we want to win a state championship, man. We want to, do this. I want to be the best, this, that, or the other. And then that year, it was a transition. It was a change to, we want to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We want to have a win in a season. That was the change. Realistic, like, hey, we really think we can do this. We're not shooting for the moon.
Sure.
You know, we're shooting for what we really think, what we really have here, even though it was a tough region, one of the toughest at that time in the state, I thought. But I mean, that was the transition, I think. I think that was the vision, realistic expectations, and of course, from the beginning, we worked harder than anybody else. I think that was true as well.
Yeah, that's one thing we don't talk enough about either. Those the first 2-3 years there, you're playing Pearl Cone and Greenbrier. I mean, you're playing White House. You know, you're playing teams that were again for a long time were just powers and contending for state championships. So you're building something new, and you're playing these teams. Abram, that fourth year though, you finally get over the hump. You beat the Pearl Cones. You beat the Greenbriers. You know, well, you couldn't quite get White House, but the feeling in that team, I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie, I know, because a lot of you guys have played football together since your junior pro days. Oh, yeah. Just what was that feeling like just to get out there and you're having fun, probably as much as anything, but you're winning ball games?
Oh, yeah. Well, side note, Coach Trapp coached me when I was in junior pro. So that rah-rah that he was talking about earlier, like I remember it.
Yeah,
like, You know? And so, but the thing about our group, that 2008 senior class, you know, and of course I was a junior at that time, about that senior class and us is that we had grown up playing junior pro in middle school. We had won. We had been winners, you know, and then we got to the high school and it was like, well, we don't ever win anything. And it's like, well, that's not how we want to be.
Yeah.
You know, that's not our legacy. We don't just go out to play the game to look good or make a play or what. We play to win.
Yeah.
We want to win. And so, you know, that was kind of a key aspect of that group was, well, we're not, if it's up to us, you know, we can play, you know, we're going to win, we're going to do something. And so it's just, that was a mindset shift, I think was just.
Those seniors that year had been beat to a pulp, you know. First year I come in, only had 30 players, you know, Matthew Lawrence, Chris Odom, that group of guys right there. They were playing JV games on Monday and starting on Friday. That's illegal now.
Yeah.
You can't do that now, you know, and after 2 or 3 weeks in, I thought, I've got to stop doing this. I'm beating these kids to death, you know. But again, young, egotistical me, they got to get more. They got to get more. But, you know, so now we're feeding them like crazy, giving them hydration, nutrition, and back then I just beating them to a pulp.
Yeah.
But I can remember that group, that offseason of their junior year. He said, Coach, we're not losing next year. We're not losing next year. I said, well, I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Let's go. You know, so, again, that mindset was established in the leaders of the team, and you know, the results was shown.
But I will say, at the end of my sophomore year, we winning against Macon County.
Yes.
You know, which was like
the first district win in like 7 years or 6 years.
It's been
or
a long
something
time.
like that.
Yeah.
Having that going into the offseason was huge.
Yeah.
Hunter threw for over 300 yards.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
And again, that's when I started. I was like, ooh, I need to learn. I need to, you know. So, yeah.
That may have been a record even at that time.
Probably was. Probably it never happened.
Yeah. DeKalb was not known as a passing offense at all.
At that point in time, that was the most passing yardage in school history.
Yes.
Yeah, probably, most likely
in
was.
one game.
Yes.
So we fast forward, that's where I feel like, you know, the turning point was DeKalb goes 7-5 the next year, back to the playoffs. Couple of down years. One, really, 2011, you came back and go 8-3, make the playoffs again. I want to get to the 2012 team, and we've got Alex Hayes that was part of that team, which, you know, arguably the best team in the history of DeKalb County High School football.
Whoa. Hold on a second. Now, there's been comparisons between that 08 team and that 12 team, and I just want to make the record clear that 08 team would beat that 12 team.
Okay. All right.
Well, I know someone that was involved with both. If Coach Trapp wants to settle it on the radio.
There was a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
A lot of differences. 2012 was pretty good, Abram. They were pretty good. I mean, it's hard to say, but they were pretty good.
You're not getting in the middle of this, are you? Alex, what was it about that 2012 team? That team had swagger, and that's one thing I remember. Defensively was great. Offensively could put points on the board. Livingston Academy. But other than that, Alex, just what's your overall take on that team? What made it special that year?
Well, like Coach Trapp said, what this program's about, what Tiger Pride's about, it's about people. And I think the program is on the rise. Obviously, we we had so many people watching Abram catch touchdowns on Friday nights. We saw Hunter throwing them, so we knew the foundation was there. And now we had a good group of people. I was born in a great grade. I'm so thankful to God still. I was like, thank God I was born in 1994.
Yeah.
But anyways, because, I mean, they're still some of my best friends in my life. Lucas Phillips, Caleb, I can't name all my friends here. I was about to try. But we had a great group of people, and we had great people before us that we watched do it and be successful. So we knew, like, showing up freshman year, like, if we put the work in, we're going to be great.
Yeah.
And every year we knew, you know, it ain't like we saved it all up for our senior year in 2012. We just knew because of the program, the hard work, like we're going to keep growing together. We're going to keep pushing each other. And finally it set off in 2012.
Yeah. And they, you know, a lot of comparisons with a few of these groups that come out, they had that one year, that 2010 year.
Yeah.
That just was a sour taste. And again, they were all sophomores that year. Most of them were playing. We were young, but their junior year, you know, again, you know, one little botch play there against Giles County in the first round, and we're going there again. But 2012, they were confident because of the work they put in. There were times at practice we'd have to separate Cody Puckett and half the team just because of the way they practiced.
Right.
You know, I wish we could practice like that again. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the competitive spirit. You know, the knowledge that they had, the game changed quite a bit from 08 to 12 as far as the way defenses played and all that kind of stuff, and it continues to change. But yeah, it was a fun year.
Alex, you brought something up I want to kind of piggyback on. You were looking up to the guys like Abram, to Poteet, and Steve, you can chime in on this as well. That's something I have seen grow over the years that I don't remember when I first started covering sports in DeKalb County, that, you know, the little ones were looking up to the bigger guys and like, hey, I want to be like this guy. And what was that like? I mean, what did that mean to you? And even Abram, I'll bring you in, when you saw the kids that were coming around you, you know, they're looking up to you. Kind of, what was that feeling like, and how important was it to have role models like this guy that you wanted to go out and play like he played the game?
Well, I didn't play football growing up, to be honest with you. Football, my freshman year was really technically my first year of actually playing football. And a good example of that is Nathan Thomason. He's my cousin. He's also my preacher.
Yeah.
And he coached in 08, I believe it was. Anyway, he loved football, big into football. Yeah. And he was pushing me. He said, watch these guys, watch this, and come out here and go give it a shot. And so watching my older cousin Nathan play football made me want to play football. And then once I watched these guys being awesome at it, I knew I could be good at it too.
Yeah.
And I think even now, we got football's turned around in DeKalb County.
Oh, yeah.
Our high school program's gotten so good that people that Coach Trapp's coached, they're now coaching the middle school, they're coaching junior pro, and we're having success at all levels. You can't sit here and say Smithfield's not a football town, because we're good at all levels now.
You got a coaching tree now, Coach.
Yeah, just proves that we're old, aren't we? But no, I just, you know, and I remember Alex coming in as a freshman. I'm going to lie, I'm like, man, I don't know if this kid will ever be able to play.
Yeah.
And I say that now because he turned into, you know, one of the best that's been out there. And, you know, and I told him this morning, I said, as far as, you know, how we define Tiger Pride and how it can impact people, I don't know if anybody's bought into it as much as him. I think it's something. And when I made this list, I looked at it and I'm like, you know, these guys still use it, or, you know, I think it impacted them. You know, there's a lot of good football players, but, you know, they've touched me personally, and I feel like the program has touched them personally. So that was kind of my thing looking at it there. But yeah, it's all, and Steven can speak to that too, because I remember him saying, man, I didn't miss a game when Poteet was playing. You know, so it impacted him too. And you talk about that quarterback lineage. All right, you know, so Poteet impacted, and then Steven impacted, and then Aldino impacted, and, you know, Jordan Parker impacted, and there's a big long list of that. So when we have quarterbacks, I talk to them about that. Yeah. You know, and that's part of it, you know. So do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I'll just say I remember after my junior year, and I remember the stands being empty from sophomore year to then junior year. It was, of course, this was before the remodel. Yeah. And they were 5 and 6 people deep along the fence. But then following that, it was like, hey, can I get your autograph? Or can I get a picture with you? And I'm like, what? What am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want a picture with me? What do you want an autograph with me for? And it was just like, oh, this means something.
Yeah.
Like not only to me playing, but this means something to other people, and hearing people, that I meet in the community and they named their children Abram, and they're like, I just heard your name on the radio so much, and I just loved that name, and I named our son Abram, and this, there's a few of those, and it's just like, man, I didn't know I could have that much impact playing football.
Yeah.
And so, but in that, I think that's so true for life as well. Like everything I've learned about football, I've just applied to my life.
Sure.
Being a pastor now, so much of my ministry and what I serve and what I do is so much of it's founded in football.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, with Coach Trapp coaching as long as he has, and I told you this maybe a couple years ago, whether you were actually listening or not, but I said, Coach, you don't understand the impact that you have had on this community. Think about all the young men that he has coached, that have went into our community, the men in our community are influenced directly by this football
Absolutely.
program over these many years. And that just trickles down. I think it impact like me to Alex to Stephen, Stephen.
And to say that my house got struck by lightning, almost everybody that showed up was like, hey, Coach. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, they all played football for me.
Yeah.
So it's good to know. Glad I didn't make none of them mad, or they might have let it burn down. I don't know. But might be a few of them out there that would do that. But no, I thought about that, and that's the goal. I mean, that's the end game.
Yeah.
You ain't going to make it to the NFL. That's very slim. But you can be good people right here, and if, like I said, if football's helped that in that way, then so be it.
We're going to come down to Stephen Jennings. Stephen, one, as you mentioned, and a line of great quarterbacks at DeKalb County High School, great football players, and, of course, went on to play great, been a great baseball player as well. But, Stephen, everybody calls Coach Trapp the Coach Whisperer when it comes to quarterbacks. What's the secret? I mean, what is it that he's able to do that gets the best out of you, that got the best out of you as a quarterback for the Tiger football team?
Well, I mean, we've touched on it. I think everybody here's touched on it at least once. Whenever I was sitting there as an 8, 9, 10-year-old kid, I knew who Poteet was. I knew who Abram was, all being from down under the hill. So, they're out there playing on Friday night. I didn't want to miss a game. I wanted to go, and then, I always liked playing quarterback, even in junior pro and stuff. And then I'm seeing Poteet putting up the numbers he did. Winning a bunch of games and stuff, and I'm like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be Hunter Poteet. And, and then Lucas is right after that. And then I'm in 8th grade for the 12 team. And, they go 10-2. Lucas throws for 150 touchdowns or whatever it was.
43.
Yeah.
43. Seemed like 150.
Yeah. Scores 50 points a game every night. So then, I get over there as a 135-pound freshman.
Yeah.
Probably after the best team in the school's history. And, Coach Trapp gives me the keys to the Cadillac, and the only thing I knew about football was, double slot, D slant. That's really all I knew. That's like the only pass plays I knew.
Right.
And I remember Coach Trapp giving me a playbook the first day I got over there that winter, and it felt like it was, that thick. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm going to know all this stuff. But, kind of like he is, just the work part of it. I never cared to work hard at anything. I wanted to be good at whatever I did. And, so I would sit there and study that playbook every night, just look through it, flip through it. And then, kind of like Abram said, he would bring me in his office. We'd sit there and draw stuff up. He'd ask me questions. I would ask him questions. I think, just fortunately there was a lot of quarterbacks right there in a row that just, really wanted to be good, really wanted to know it, really didn't like to lose, really wanted to just, serve everybody else.
Yeah.
I actually was talking to Cross about this yesterday before the game. He was my left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there. And the only thing I wanted to do in the huddle is I wanted all the guys in the huddle and on the team to be able to look at me and know that I have done everything that I could do to help all of us be successful.
Yeah.
And, that was really what it was all about. And, I felt like as a quarterback, if I did that, then everybody else on the team would kind of follow that lead a little bit. So, I think there was just a lot of guys like that. Poteet and Abram, they set the standard. Lucas and them took it to new heights. And, I just wanted to do my part and try to take it even higher than that.
Don't tell Abram that they took it to new heights, because that 8 team could beat that 12 team, right?
Here's the thing. That defense of the 08 team, as good as that offense was, the way we played the blitzing and having me and J.J. Harriet at corners, I don't care who the receiver was. They weren't going to catch nothing. Yeah, that's the difference to me. The talent is on the 12 team overall, and the depth is on the 12 team.
Yeah.
But I think
That was key,
I think
the
the
depth.
defense.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Defense.
Steven, going out and starting as a freshman quarterback, were you ever intimidated, and especially knowing kind of how high the bar had been set with the guys before you that you'd seen play quarterback, were you intimidated ever in any way? And if so, what did Coach Trapp kind of do to help in that way?
Well, actually, I remember, I think we scrimmaged Gordonsville first my freshman year. And, we went out there. It went pretty good. Gordonsville won the state championship in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And they graduated what seemed like the whole school. So they got 22 new kids out there too, pretty much. And, we actually had some success that day. I threw the ball all right. Felt like I commanded the offense as good as, a freshman with no starts under his belt could. And then I remember actually Friendship, we scrimmaged them, and we couldn't gain a yard.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my gosh, can I really do this? And, but still, just the work part of it, after that, I kind of didn't want to waste the failure, so to speak. So that scrimmage was a failure. But then after that, I was like, well, I can learn from it. What did I not do good? What did we not do good?
Sure.
And, so I just, stuck to it, kept trying to learn, kept trying to grow. And then going to Warren County, I remember it was like kind of tough sledding in the first quarter. And then I remember there was a drive right before halftime. I sat there and completed 5-6 passes. I think we ended up, I don't know if we scored a touchdown or kicked a field goal, but completed 4 or 5 passes down the field. And then from that point on, I was like, okay, I belong here. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And, that was kind of the turning point that kind of flipped the switch to let me know that, I'm capable.
Yeah. That injury that last year broke all of our hearts, and I know it did yours. But how tough was that? I mean, knowing how much you had given to this program, how much you love this program, how much did that hurt you?
Yeah, it hurt a lot. We were actually talking about this yesterday too. After every game after I got hurt that year, whether we won or lost, I would go home and just cry like a baby. Just because I wanted to be out there, And it wasn't about, the yards, the stats. It wasn't about anything like that. It was just I wanted to be out there to hopefully share in success with other people. And it was the guys that I'd, played with, been best friends with, grown up with, all this stuff. And we had been together forever. And, kind of like Coach Trapp was talking about earlier, we kind of went through some tough sledding our sophomore year too. There was a big senior class that year, but it seemed like kind of all of them got hurt that year, unfortunately. So then kind of the second half of that year, it was like all sophomores were out there pretty much. I think we had 9 sophomores on the offense for basically the whole second half of that year. And, went 5-6 that year, snuck in the playoffs, went down to Signal Mountain and got beat by 30 or 40.
Oh, yeah, we were there for that one. I remember that.
And,
it was cold.
You still threw for 300 yards.
Yeah.
Couldn't score, though. And then, junior year, kind of all of our first year starting, really starting, and kind of took ownership of everything in the offseason. That, my junior class, had a pretty good year junior year. I still think Paul's made the field goal against Chattanooga Christian. But, they said it was no good. So then going into that senior year, we're sitting there. They had won a playoff game. They had won a playoff game. And then we're going into our senior year, hadn't won a playoff game yet. And, the target was on our back. We were supposed to be the one that won the district that year.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we go into the year, get off to a pretty good start. And then, that dreadful night, scramble out to the left, just try to make a cut. Knee buckled, gave out. And then, after that game, I just, like I said, after every game that year, I would just go home and just cry. I just felt like I let everybody on the team down. I felt like I let Coach Trapp down, felt like I let everybody down. And, it wasn't very fun standing on the sideline on Friday night with the guys that I'd grown up with, played with out there doing it. And, I'm sitting there just trying to have it be a cheerleader. And, that's not to say that I didn't try to, do everything I could to help. Tyler Cantrell came and was a quarterback after. I would sit there in class with him and just sit here and say, this is what I look at. This is kind of, if they do this, then we want to do this. If, if they're lined up like this and we have this called, it might not be very good. So, I tried to help him out, tried to still be out there every day. I felt like I was still part of the team, and I still still felt like I had a role. It just wasn't at the quarterback position anymore.
And guys, he never missed a practice, even after he got hurt.
Wow.
You know, he had surgery the day of the next game, the next week. He was up in the stands, half googly-eyed and stuff from surgery.
I think I was on Pluto. I don't even remember going.
He never missed a practice.
Wow.
I mean, the next week he was out there, and he's a mobilizer throwing 7-on-7. You know, so I don't take any credit for being a quarterback whisperer. It's that type of mindset that we've had at all these great quarterbacks. And they've watched that standard, and it's filtered down. So, again, it's more about the people that we've put there. I guess the only thing I can say, I've put good people there. And they've bought into what we've wanted, and that's to serve, you know, because that's the first thing as the quarterback. You know, everybody's going to blame everything on me and you.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I said, I'll take every bit of it. You know, I said, but we've got to serve that. And I said, there's two people that can't have bad days, and that's me and you. But I'm a 40-something-year-old moody man, so you might have to impact me sometime. But no, the whispering part or whatever, it's just because there's a standard there, and it's not just because they're the quarterback. We want every player to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there is an extra onus on, okay, you've got the ball in your hand every single time. Know the play while we're calling it, how it impacts it, and, you know, when I can say that quarterback out there is an extension of the play caller, which he was and many of the others was, you see the results.
I want to run through some numbers here. We talked about those first 3 years, 3-27, I think it was 1-17 against district. The 17 years after that, though, 108-83. Now, the team went 52-35 after the first 3 years against district or region opponents. 11 total winning seasons. 15 playoff appearances. That dwarfs anything prior to that. I mean, you're talking 1963 up to 2005. Since 2005, 15 playoff appearances, including 13 consecutive from 2011 through last year. 7 playoff wins. The first ever playoff win came back in 2008. And many more playoff wins after that, including a quarterfinal run. I believe that was back the 2019 season. And right now, as it stands, Coach, you're 14 wins away from tying the all-time record for the winningest coach in DeKalb County football history. And I know you're also proud of this. You've sent at least 20 players on to play college football. You've had 108 all-region players over the years. Those are just some phenomenal numbers, and that just you guys have said it best. You know, Alex, I think you said it, you know, where this football program has been elevated to, where it is. And, you know, we've had some great teams in the past. I'm not knocking what's happened in the past, but the standard has been set. The expectations are what they are, and everybody, you know, comes out on Friday night because they love Tiger football. And Coach, you know, I know you will give all the credit to a lot of guys you worked with over the years, but you've been at the forefront of all this. And, you know, we've got to thank you for sure, and your staff, your coaches, all of your players over the years for just 20 wonderful years of football in DeKalb County.
Well, there's been moments it wasn't wonderful. You know, like I said, that when it first started, you know, I'll coach here, and I'll never coach anywhere else. Will I make it 30 years? I'll make it 30 years teaching. I don't know about football. I won't lie. It's a year-by-year deal now.
Yeah.
It weighs. It weighs. I just want the kids to appreciate and have gratitude for the opportunities that they have, and then go put on a show because of that gratitude. And the things that really gets me riled up is, you know, the sense of entitlement, or, you know, lazy or disrespectful, and that's always been the case. Again, I'm a human being as well, so I'm not perfect. We all have our faults, but, you know, I still want to make sure that I'm working for these kids. But, you know, all those numbers is because of these guys bought in, and they're talented athletes, no doubt. But talent will only take you so far. You know, you got to have a good heart and a good mind, and they're great examples of, you know, what Tiger Pride is and what good people is. And another thing to say is, you know, I want to say it's been cool over these last few weeks to reach out to these guys and actually I'm sitting there in school, not supposed to be sending texts, but I'm sitting here texting back and forth with kids I've not talked to in a long time. And, seen a couple more last night. Man, I'm so excited to share the field with you one more time. I'm just like, wow, and so I hope it means, and I think it does. When I say the word hope, it's a confident expectation, not the worldly hope definition of. But it means something to me personally. It does. So I want to thank you for allowing us to have this platform to put it together. I won't have another 20-year team. I won't be here for 40 years. Trust me. But and it's not about me.
Yeah,
I just want to make it is not about me. This is for them to come back together one time and one more time, and hopefully numerous times. And for our community. We do what we do to impact this community, and that's the thing. And that was a flip. So we're appreciative of all the support that they give us. The parents, when we've had special teams, we've had special groups of parents as well. And I think that's why you have special kids too, So if it's a challenge in that regard, a lot of times it's a challenge with the kids. I mean, it's just the honesty of it. But I'll always be up front. I'll be honest if that's brutal or not, and that's what I expect in return. But like I said, I appreciate it, and when I got the job, I wanted it to be something, and I think that it has turned into something. Could it be more? Of course, but it's not all been about me. There's been a lot of people that's helped and supported, and I'm grateful.
We're looking forward to this event again. It's going to be Friday night, September 26th, and we've got 50-plus former DeKalb County High School football players that will be coming back. I ain't going to say former Tigers because they're always Tigers, and we're looking forward to recognizing them that night. Coach, it's been a joy just to work with you on this project. Thank you for all you've done in bringing some of these guys back. And you talk about the ones you've talked to, and I know there were a few that you had some trouble reaching out to. Everyone that I've had the honor of contacting has been so excited. Even a couple that are not going to be able to make it were just brokenhearted. They're so excited about being part of this.
Alex is not going to be able to be there. He has a Disney trip. He tried to change his Disney trip just so he could be there. Alex, you didn't.
My sister-in-law would have been mad.
Yes.
My in-laws would have been mad.
Well, they'd have got over it,
I seen his parents a few weeks before we got it out, and it's like, oh, man, that's our Disney trip. Said he's going to try to change it on us. I'm like, don't let him do that. Don't let him. So I'm glad we was able to get him on the show. And,
absolutely.
And all of that.
Yes, sir.
And I'm grateful to all those that can make it, and those that can. I appreciate it. I understand it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All right. We could do this all day, guys. I know memories. I love talking about stuff like this. We could, but I know y'all got to go, and we got to go too because, well, Casey's got to go to work.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Actually, I do have one thing for Steven, actually. I wanted to, hey, man, so happy you're back helping. That is awesome.
Me too.
However, I am going to mail you an invoice because I got subscribed to the MLB network only so I could watch you pitch. And I feel like I got half of it now, so just $50 probably will cover it. So just look for that in the mail.
You think he's joking?
You heard about the card, right?
Yeah. We won't go on there with that.
Guys, thank you so much for coming out this morning and share memories. We'll have to do this again, get some of the former players on, and when we have a little more time and really sit down. We might even do some one-off specials where we can really get down and talk about some memories because there's a lot of great ones out there, and we'd love to have more time to do that. Coach, as always, we enjoy talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, we'll come back. We're going to take a look ahead at the week in sports, upcoming, and more. This is DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance.
It seems like the cost of everything is on the rise, but Erie Insurance can help make sure your auto insurance premium isn't one of them. Avoid rate increases with Erie Rate Lock. Even if you have a claim, your rates won't go up until you change your car, driver, or address.
Your Erie agent is DeKalb County Insurance. Get a quote today at DeKalbInsurance.net.
Erie Rate Lock is not available in all states. Other conditions and limitations at ErieInsurance.com. Go to ErieInsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Prompt, professional, and courteous healthcare services. That's what you find when you visit Good Health Family Clinic, 414 East Broad Street in Smithville. When you're on the go, you can't afford to be sick. The staff at Good Health Family Clinic is committed to getting you back on your feet and feeling better as soon as possible. They are locally owned, so you know you're being helped by people from right here at home, who you know and trust. Good Health Family Clinic accepts most insurances and is currently accepting new patients. Call to schedule an appointment, 615-597-4432. Good Health Family Clinic. Your family's good health is our mission.
Smithville FBC is proud to support DC Blitz and all DeKalb Sports. We have a place for you to call home on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night. We have nursery available. Pre-K through 5th graders are welcome to join Faith Kids. 6th through 12th graders are welcome to join FBC students, and everyone's outside of that is welcome to join all of our adult ministries. We meet Wednesday nights at 6, and Sunday morning small groups begin at 9 with worship at 10. Join us at Smithville FBC. It's a place to call home.
Home Surveillance is your trusted partner in video surveillance equipment. Our team understands the critical importance of safeguarding your family and securing your business assets. We offer comprehensive solutions tailored to your specific needs, ensuring peace of mind through advanced technology and expert installation. As a locally owned and operated business, we take pride in our community and strive to build lasting relationships with our customers. Let Home Surveillance help you protect the things most important to you. Give us a call at 615-597-6287. In the heart of Smithville, by the tranquil waters of Center Hill Lake, one name stands out in real estate: Lake Homes Realty and the Tony Luna Group. With over 25 years of experience and a track record of over $100 million in local sales, Tony Luna is the expert you can trust. Whether you're selling your cherished home or seeking that perfect lakeside retreat, Tony's commitment ensures you'll get top dollar for your property. Call 615-210-9522 and take the first step towards your real estate success.
Liberty Auto Glass and Calibrations has served the Upper Cumberland area as a premier auto glass shop since 2011. Located at 1620 South Jefferson Avenue in Cookville, our business offers chipped glass repair, glass replacement, windshield repair, and much more. Plus, on-site service is available. We also offer free mobile installation. We look forward to assisting our customers with any and all windshield repairs. For all your auto glass needs, stop by Liberty Auto Glass and Calibrations. Phone 931-979-7339.
Just like the excitement of the big game, life is filled with unforgettable moments. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, we understand that when the final moment comes, you want to honor those moments with dignity and care. Whether you're celebrating a life well lived or finding solace in a time of grief, our compassionate staff is here to provide the support you need. Love Cantrell Funeral Home is a proud sponsor of DeKalb County Athletics through 3 generations. At Love Cantrell Funeral Home, love is not only in our name, but also in our services.
Just like a winning team, Liberty State Bank is there when you need them most, providing financial solutions that fit your goals. Whether it's building a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, you can count on us to be there every step of the way. Experience the power of partnership with Liberty State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Tigers, Saints, and Bulldogs.
Ranger brake offers made in the USA, assembled in the USA, and world-sourced brake lines so that they can meet all levels of market demand. That helps them maintain a good, better, and best approach to giving customers the options they need to succeed with ease. Ranger Brake has a second-to-none qualifying process which ensures each and every product is certified before it's actually sold in the USA. By providing qualified products that are tested in the USA, Ranger Brake is doing their part to keep it safe out on the roads. Ranger Brake, DeKalb County Athletics.
Smithville Church of Christ invites you to come worship with us. Smithville Church of Christ believes that God is a relational being who exists as Father, Son, and Spirit. That human beings have a created likeness to God which makes each of us eternally valuable. That salvation is the free gift of God, received through faith and expressed through confession, repentance, and baptism. That personal transformation, a process initiated by God's grace, gathers momentum as our will is increasingly brought into alignment with God's will. Come visit Smithville Church of Christ any Sunday or Wednesday night as we study together and worship our Lord.
Want a mower that's tough enough to break all the rules? Want everything without sacrificing anything? Want performance for the long haul at an unbeatable value? The perfect balance of power and performance? You want a bad boy mower. Packed with power, muscle, simplicity, and comfort the pro and you demands. It's your time. You deserve a bad boy. Find your big boy mower at Southern Landscape Supply, 611 Rich Froning Way in Cookville. Visit them online at thesouthernlandscapesupply.com.
I got nervous at the end.
DC Blitz presented by DeKalb County Insurance. I just saw Casey eat a sausage biscuit in like 2.8 seconds.
That's nothing. I've done better than that before.
You look like a snake devouring a rat over there.
Yeah.
Man, wasn't that fun?
That was great.
That was. I'm sorry, I didn't give you any time to ask any questions, Casey.
I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, I got to ask Steven about my bill. Man, I didn't think he was going to let me do it.
Well, I'm glad you got your question out there.
That's all that matters to me.
It's going to be a lot of fun on the 26th. I'm going to see players I hadn't seen probably since they graduated, and I'm really excited about that. Again, we're not going to release the list because we want it to be a surprise, but there's a lot. There's going to be 20 team MVPs there. There's going to be 20 former college football players there. There's going to be 14 Clay Edwards Memorial Tiger Pride Award winners, and we're looking forward to just seeing all these guys again, and just really, I know Coach Trapp gives all of his credit, and certainly the credit's to be shared, but, you got to have a figurehead, and that's what he's been over these last 20 successful years.
It's neat to see the family that he's built,
Yep.
Like, watch those guys even now, they just enjoy being around each other, they're thankful for his influence in their life, and you know what? If you can make it to heaven and say, I was a good influence on some folks, I believe you could do a lot worse than that.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Let's shift gears a little bit. DeKalb County High School Golf, they're going to play their last regular season match. Coming up, I believe it is, where's my schedule? I should have my schedule here somewhere. Tuesday, as they'll take on Watertown and Cannon County. They've played Cannon County about 30 times this year,
Yep.
and they'll play over at Cedar Crest coming up on Tuesday, but then, Casey, they'll turn around and be back at Cedar Crest on Thursday. It is postseason golf time for the DeKalb County High School golf teams, and it's something we've been talking about since the season began. High expectations. The boys' team seems to be playing their best golf right now. We know what Chloe and Emily are capable of on the girls' side. I'm looking forward to an exciting postseason for the golf teams, and I know they're ready for it.
Man, it's going to be neat, not only to just watch, what Chloe and Emily does on the girls' side, but like you say, that boys' team, man, it has come a long ways in the past couple years.
Yep.
And, this may be the year that we get to talk about, a deep run there for them.
They took on Central Magnet back this past Monday. Central didn't bring a lot of their primary girls. Actually, Chloe shot a 37, Emily a 41. Brad Hale shot a 36, William Blair 45 for the boys as they took on, again, Central Magnet Cannon County, of course, this past Monday. And then they played Macon County Tuesday. A lot of the regulars actually didn't play for the girls. Brad had a 35 on the boys' side to lead things. William had a 37. And, again, they're just playing really good. Emily shot a 40 Tuesday at the Macon County course. And they're getting excited for the postseason. In fact, we're going to be at Smithville Golf Course next Saturday for the show, and we're going to go golf heavy with a couple of segments, one with the girls and the boys, and looking forward to talking to them. They're going to be fired up because it's going to be right after the district tournament. You ready for that?
I think we could have some fun with that. Yeah.
I still think we're going to have to do a putt-putt pro-am one of these days.
Yeah.
Get some of the great golfers and maybe a couple legends and
Yep.
do
we
something.
could recreate the Bob Barker Happy Gilmore. that would be fun. I'll be Bob.
I was going to say you auditioning for the part of Bob.
Yeah.
We can make that happen. We mentioned earlier volleyball got their second win of the season and second win in program history. Summit Christian of Alabama, they won earlier this morning, and thanks to Coach Kayla Johnson for letting us know about that. DeKalb County High School Lady Tiger soccer team, they got their first district win in their first district match. Zuli Beltran with 2 goals. Hannah Tobit had a couple goals. Dulcie Ramirez had 13 saves. They beat Watertown 4-1 this past Thursday and opened the season 1-0 in district play. They'll play Cumberland County coming up on Tuesday, and they're coming off of course, the Smoky Mountain Cup that they played in last weekend, which is always challenging. Lady Tigers are 4-3. Speaking of soccer, the Lady Saints soccer team, well, You know, they're playing, Coach Justin Oaks told me he feels like they're playing their best soccer of the season right now. They will close out their regular season Monday at Overton County. Here's the shame part of all this, Casey. You got to finish in the top 6 to make the conference tournament. DeKalb County currently is in 6th place. However, White County has got 2 more conference matches coming up, and a win in either of those, and DeKalb County is out. So DeKalb County not controlling their own destiny, despite the fact that they've been playing excellent here lately. They've got to have White County lose both those matches or at least tie in order for them to make the postseason. So it's going to be kind of a wait and see for them.
Where's Tanya Harding when you need her?
I'm sure we can find her somewhere for sure. And the DeKalb Saints football team, they are out of the running to defend their conference championship. Unfortunately, tough loss for the Saints at White County this past Thursday night, 54-20. They've had some injury problems, I know. Their quarterback, Landon Holmes, may not be back for the rest of the regular season, may not be back for the season. We don't know fully as of yet. They've had some players step up, but they've had to plug some holes certainly on this team. And the Saints, they're going to miss out. They will have a cross-division game as a postseason game, but Casey, they're out of that Final Four, and it's been a bit of a growing season for the Saints, and we expected this with all the 8th graders they lost a year ago.
It's really tough in middle school football to make the playoffs. You've got to be in 1 or 2 in your side.
Yeah.
And to get to be 1 and 2, you pretty much can't lose a game just about. So if you have a mishap more than once, it's real tough for you to be able to make it. And it's a truncated season, so there's not games to make that up. But hey, there's no letdown in this team. That was a good team. What they had last year was an exceptional situation. Okay, you can't compare the two. What I've seen out of the Saints this year is a lot of fight and a lot of good athleticism, and Coach Steve Trapp's going to have some players coming up for him, a new batch of freshmen next year.
Absolutely. Junior Pro is in action today. Speaking of football and speaking of White County, they'll travel to Sparta to play White County, as my schedule has it, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Lady Tiger Volleyball, they're continuing play today at the Rocky Top Classic up in Sevierville. Middle school and high school cross country today at the John Freeman Invitational at the Webb School in Bell Buckle. They may even be done by now, the middle school at least, as they started at 8 o'clock this morning. Monday, volleyball's back home. They will host Stone Memorial. We mentioned Lady Saints will be playing at Overton County. Tuesday, golf with their last regular season match against Watertown and Cannon County at Cedar Crest. Volleyball home again, as they'll have Livingston Academy. Middle school tennis heads to Blackman on Tuesday. Lady Tiger Soccer and a home match against Cumberland County. Thursday, golf opens up at the district tournament. Lady Tiger Volleyball at home against Clark Range. They've already beaten Clark Range, so another great opportunity for a match win there for volleyball. Middle school tennis will be at Christiana. Lady Tiger Soccer goes to White County on Thursday. Saints football wraps up their regular season at Stone Memorial. And, of course, Friday night Tiger football goes on the road at Macon County. We're kind of going to circle back to where we started, Casey, and that's coming off this big win over Friendship last night, 21-17, and some great momentum going in against the defending Class 4A state champions. Macon County, they're impressive so far to start the season at 4-0, but you know what? Anything can happen, and I think DeKalb County, really with that effort last night, they're going to build a lot of confidence and go into that game in Lafayette playing with a ton of confidence against the Tigers.
I tell you, my only hope is that Macon County schedules us as their homecoming team, because we'll go up there and give them a big homecoming gift, I think. I really believe that this team, again, is the team that is the team this year.
Yep.
What we've seen the first 3 games, even in that win against Warren County, which is, by the way, starting to look even better. Warren County's got a couple wins under their belt this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think this is the actual team that we have this year, and I think that this is a team that we'll see week in and week out. And I'm telling you, the team that played last night will compete with anybody on that schedule.
Yeah. So a tough couple of weeks, but you know what? You got to play those region games, and I look for DeKalb County to be in there and be competitive with Macon County and then Upperman in 2 weeks, and they'll step back out of region in 3 weeks to travel up to Jamestown to play York Institute. Did we get a concession stand report today? Did you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it was tough for me to get down to the concession stand last night because there was a lot of people there, and so they were actually good enough to bring me some water up there. I guess they felt like I was about to lose my voice.
Are you going to rate the water?
The water was excellent. I give it 7 thumbs up.
seven hot dogs.
Hey, I tell you what was really cool though is I got to meet our old classmate Rachel Evans out there last night. One of these days I'm getting her up there.
Yeah,
like I believe
you got to turn her loose.
She'd be the real deal to hear up there on that PA. So
Rachel's a fan of the show. I know she's tuned in many times and on our live sportscast as well. We got to have her on the show.
Yeah,
because she was a great softball player, played basketball as well. Great athlete, and man, you talk about personality.
She was the best athlete our age, I can tell you, and I still think she's probably the best athlete around, to be honest with you. I wouldn't race her, I'll tell you that. So, but yeah, boy, we need to get Rachel on here, man. Yeah. You talk about a fun show. We could really have a good time with that.
We're definitely going to do that. We'll have to focus that around softball season. Get her on the show because that will be a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun today. Coach and Kelly missed out. I don't even feel sorry for them. They should have just been here for all this.
I mean, that's a them problem.
That's a them problem, absolutely. Well, Coach is at soccer today. His grandson, Asher, playing in his first soccer match over at the Youth Soccer League. And I was hoping to get an Asher soccer report, but Coach didn't make it back. I don't know if they've gone into...
It's MIA today.
They may have gone into quintuple overtime or something, but...
But no kidding. What about Kelly today? Wasn't she awesome? I mean, all that insight that she had.
Yeah.
I mean, it was top notch, I thought.
Absolutely. So. She came out a little flat, but warmed up in a hurry.
She sure did, yeah.
We again want to thank Coach Steve Trapp, Abram Edwards, Alex Hayes, and Stephen Jennings for coming out and talking with us today. Always enjoy talking with Coach Trapp and any of his former players. Just been a great show today. We thank everyone out there for tuning in. Of course, our producer, Daniel Leslie, who always makes the show go and always finds something new to add to the show. We had the video clip today. We're very excited about that. And, Casey, I know we're fired up about Tennessee football today. I'm not making any predictions because I'm terrified, but I'm ready for a good game, hopefully.
Somebody told me last night, he was asking about what their chances of UT. You think about it, though. They've passed every test so far. They beat a team that we didn't know, how it was going to be at opening season, and then they totally blew out a team that they should have totally blown out. So I'm not going to bet against them.
We'll see. 2:30 kickoff of that. I believe ABC's got that one this afternoon. All right. We'll be at Smithville Golf Course next week. Again, we're going to have a couple of segments of golf. We'll also be joined next week by Rob Alexander as part of our DC Blitz Legends series. We're going to remember Coach Tommy. Coach Tommy Alexander, longtime coach of the Saints, passed away within recent months, and been talking to Rob about doing this segment. He's going to come out and be part of that show next week, and we're going to have some great remembrances of the life of Coach Tommy Alexander during our show next week. All right, for Casey, I'm Tom Duggan for DC Blitz, presented by DeKalb County Insurance. We'll see you next Saturday morning.